Hey, what is up YouTube? It's Rich. Alright, welcome to a new video. Looking through the Angel Medina Spawn issues, I was having some serious flashbacks to this book, HELLSHOCK by Jay Lee, produced by Image Comics a very, very long time ago. But I really wanted to look at these. I hadn't seen them in a while. I have all these comics. But it'll be easier to go through these digital files and we can zoom in and whatnot, and it should be really fun. This is some interesting stuff. It was definitely a transitional period for Jay Lee. He had done Namor for Marvel, some Marvel Comics Presents short stories, I think, and then he did, oh man, what was it called? Youngblood Strike File, and then a Wildcats mini series, and I think that was it. But you figure that's probably like 3 to 4 years worth of work before he went into this. So he had gotten really, really good, and had drawn a lot of comic books at this point. He was probably a few thousand pages into his career if you count single issues as say 20 to 22 pages. So there was actually some controversy surrounding this book in terms of page count, as you'll see as we go through this. So this is the cover. You'll start to notice like some photorealism coming into Jay's stuff at this point, and it's interesting. I personally probably preferred the more cartooning elements of his stuff, but there's some really, really nice finishes and stuff that he does in this. So this is the cover, and what we're going to do is, the way Photoshop opens these files, I'm going to have to do it like this, but not. Here's the artist credits page. We don't need that. And yeah, so this is like a storyteller spotlight. I didn't really clarify, but I think the title will say it. So here's the opening page of the comic. This is very, very cool. Some classic Jay Lee-isms with the razor blade and the splatter, and this is really, really cool. I'm curious. I wonder if he actually put his hands on a photocopier and maybe put these down, because it's an interesting technique. And not, again, I've talked about this before. Sometimes when you see something on a page and it looks right, it can make it look very easy, and sort of like you intuitively go, yeah, that's how I would do it, or that's how it would look. But now executing something like this is a whole nother thing, especially if you don't have something to base the look on. But yeah, it's interesting. I honestly couldn't guess what he did here, but it looks great, whatever it is. So again, we're gonna keep seeing that page because I have to go this way to go through in an order. So another shot of the hands. Then we see this kid in this. Oh, okay. It almost felt like a sci-fi lab or something for me, and then you see. But this is a photostat, so based on that, this is a Xerox of a photo. This possibly could actually have been a photo that he sort of splattered on and did razor blades. And generally where there's smoke, there's fire kind of thing. So it's like if you see someone using a technique, it will generally carry over in other things that they do. There was something that I spotted. Oh, it was Arthur Adams' old thing that he had inked, and his lines were very organic in it, but all of a sudden you could see lines that were a lot straighter, and they were quite long and curved, and it was probably a French curve that he was inking with, and it kind of carried over into other panels where he wouldn't have normally used it, but the tool was out, so the tool got used. And the tool here would be a photo reference dropped in to add detail. So it's kind of a Sienkiewicz thing. There's other artists that have done it too. This is cool. And there's so many different ways to draw comics and tell stories. There's a lot of this so far going on in this story. A lot of like repetitive imagery and like zooms and sweeping shots. His storytelling over the years has evolved quite a bit. It's actually quite interesting to see different runs of books that he did. The Wildcats trilogy, I think, is really, really spectacular. Not only because it's the Wildcats, which is cool, but he actually is drawing with a lot of detail, but still capturing his sort of Namor style, and or Namor, however you pronounce it. And it's a pretty interesting blend of high detail and contrast. Okay, so here we go again. Man, this looks great. But again, this is probably a photo. This actually almost has like a Dave McKeon kind of vibe. But these shots are great. I think, if I remember correctly, I think he lived in New York at the time, maybe, and shot this reference himself. I could be off on that because I know that he lives somewhere else now. This looks more drawn to me, although these are suspect. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll look for repetitive cues in the detail, like the shading on the stairs. I like to get kind of forensic with art if I'm looking at it. This is great. This is a beautiful, beautiful shot. I love it. I love this, and I love this, and this is great too. High energy. So again, I hope this is fun. This is, I'm telling you, I get so much out of these videos making them for you. I'm kind of addicted to it, to be honest. It's like seeing this storytelling, talking about it, sharing it with people, having people reply, and you know, getting a dialogue about really, really great comics is really fun, and I hope that you all are enjoying it. So this is a great page, man. I love this, and again, this probably is photo stats, but man, that is awesome. Look at that. It's worth doing it in Photoshop and having to juxtapose the files to be able to zoom in on these panels. But man, the lighting here is killer. It was funny, I actually did a review yesterday, I think, and I was talking about, you know, it's worth it if you can get like a styrofoam mannequin head or anything, any small little model of a head, light it, you know, turn off all the lights in your office or your studio or your bedroom, wherever you draw, and take like a cigarette lighter or a small pen light, flashlight, and throw light on it and snap a few photos, and you'll get all these little subtleties, like the cast shadow here under the eyelid, because this is a mass right here, and this is an indent, you know. All these little subtleties, you're just not going to be able to make this stuff up until you know it. Once you've done it a few times and you go, oh yeah, when I do this lighting thing, like the light hits here and da-da-da-da-da, you can kind of phone it in more, or you know what I mean? Like you have the experience. But man, these are great and so stylized. So the controversy around this book, I might as well hit it now, is how few pages Jay did in this book. I think he got heat from McFarlane, of all people, because McFarlane was one of the top brass at Image. But I think ultimately, well, we'll see when we get there, but he only did like 16 pages of interiors, and then kind of like padded the back with like pinups and a few black and white pieces. But yeah, that was not acceptable, and I think that this book took him. I think there was a very, very long break between him doing the work that he had been doing and then going into this. And I remember the second issue taking a really long time. Again, this stuff looks like photography to me that's been dropped in. But this is really, really cool, and again, probably the razor blade technique. Although this is interesting, the color here, that's wild. So this is some sort of colored brush. Like, wow, that's pretty wild. These strokes right here actually are really neat in color, and it's neat that the colorist got that stippled effect. I mean, he may have inverted black and white lines based on whatever he needed, and then gone in and dropped the red in it. But yeah, that actually is really cool. It's a little tricky for me to tell exactly how these strands of hair were done. I mean, I guess you could run a you know, brush through them just to break it up to sort of mimic what Jay did, but this isn't as like encrypted. This is, oh, it's a spread, that's why. Okay, so let's see here. Okay. Again, you see the photo. Interior of a car, always tricky to draw. It was funny in the review that I was talking about yesterday. I was like, this is like a nightmare scenario sometimes if you have to draw a lot of shots inside a car, because it's like, it's tight. There's weird angles, like the curvature of the windows, and you got the steering wheel, the dashboard, and the seats, and weird crops on characters with body parts sort of popping up at little spots. They're tricky. It's tricky, but this is nice. He did it good. He got in and out. Let's see if he had to do more or if he just did the one shot. Wait, what happened? Wait. Oh, here we go. Okay. Again, lots of photo stats, more than I remembered. But I remember at the time, maybe not being able to differentiate. I mean, I'm sure that I could, but it was kind of why I leaned a little bit more maybe towards the Namor stuff or the stuff that he had done for Extreme or I guess Homage Studios at the time. But as we all know, things have evolved so much in comics now. This is cool. It's almost got like a Hellboy vibe. That's funny. It's like, Hellboy, is that you? What are you doing? This is cool, though. I mean, they're great shots. If he would have drawn it more, I think it actually would have worked better. What is going on? Oh, I guess because all the pages are available now. So this is the 11th page. I'm telling you, the story ends soon. Down shot, photograph, a wall photograph, drawings. Cool storytelling, though. I like this. Nice establishing shot. You've got the kid with like this impending doom sort of around him. There's blood on the kid's face. He's sort of peering back, and then spots like a homeless guy in the alley or someone. It's death blow. That's nice. And what's funny, because this actually looks a little bit like some of the stuff that he did on like Ozymandias and shoot, what was the other book? Like even the Dark Tower stuff a little bit. He's got a really fun body of work. I love Jay's art so much. I think he's really good. Okay, so there's a European artist that does stuff like this too. This reminds me of his stuff. I can't think of the name. I remember in an old like it was either Echoes of Future Past or like Heavy Metal magazine, but he would draw this like girl with like sunglasses and do a lot of photography art, like comic art. It reminds me of that. What's going on here? I'm like tripping. What is that? I must have missed an object or something. Does he throw something at him? My secret is more dangerous than yours. Come on, I ain't gonna hurt you. I have to go. No, didn't hear me. I got a secret to tell you. Yeah, I can't tell what that object is. I might have missed it on another page jabbering about something else, but anyway, it's not a huge deal. I just wasn't sure what it was. It's really cool. So, like, again, Sienkiewicz does stuff like this, but generally Bill's stuff will be more, it looks a little more hand-drawn. There's definitely times where you can see that maybe a photo was used more, but Bill's done enough work where he's done kind of a combination of the two, but yeah, this is cool. I like the layout on this. Like, it's quite a few panels, but he doesn't overspend his time on them, and you move through quickly, which is I always find, I think it's really important. I love detailed art, but as someone who's a fan of storytelling, if it's locking you down too much in terms of productivity, it's I question sometimes the value of over detailing things. But that's more of a mature perspective. When I was maybe younger, I would have thought differently about it, but I just know how much time people spend on pages, and it's like you can always go back and pore over the art, but if you want to do 12 issues of a book in a respectable amount of time, spending 3 to 6 days on a page is not going to get you there. And unfortunately, that's kind of how I draw, so it's challenging. This is nice, cool page, really nice shot. Okay, so we're at page 15. See, so yeah, he only did 15 pages of interiors, and back at that time, image books were like 24 pages, I think, of interiors, maybe 22, but yeah, 15 pages of interior art is not a lot. This is, again, probably another photo stat. It looks cool, though. A really neat shot. I'd be curious to see what these originals look like. If he if this is a paste up and then the art is drawn around it, or what he did, but we'll probably never know. unless the originals are out there. But this is cool. Really, really good. Strong, strong drawing here. And what's funny is where this style started, the first time that I saw it creep into his stuff was in a Wildcat source book. For people that remember it, it was a great, great pinup that he did of Warblade, wearing like kind of like a silk shirt with like a pattern on it, and his like claws coming out. But there was a level of realism in that I had never seen with Jay's stuff, and it looked great. It's a beautiful, beautiful. I think it's in the Wildcat source book 1. But yeah, that was when I saw him start to creep into this more realistic style. But he moved away from this like later. I mean, this is all drawn, but it could be from a fashion magazine. It's hard to say. But anyway, we're gonna go through more issues. But all right, and again, there's like a pinup gallery at the end. The colors are interesting right here. It's almost got like a little bit of a Neil Adams vibe with the more raw inking, the way it's lit, and you know. But again, that's the family tree is Neil Adams, Bill Sienkiewicz, Jay Lee. You know, so that's why that harkens back to like Neil Adams. We're all part of the family tree, whether we would like to believe it or not. The thing I always find funny is the people that avoid the most obvious influence in their work when they list influences. That drives me nuts. It's like, all right, you're totally influenced by James Jean, but yet you'll throw him like 5th in line of your influences. It's like, come on, man. Say it. Who cares? It's better if you own it, honestly. There was a lot of people that drew like Bisley back in the day, and they would like not credit him. They'd circle around him and like go like, oh, I'm in Frazetta and Bill Sienkiewicz. It's like, come on, you're in this Bisley. It's freaking totally obvious. Lie to us. You probably like those other guys too, but it's not split hairs here. So this is nice. You can see that this is all drawn. So here's a look at the original HELLSHOCK tale, which has subsequently been managed. So he probably started to draw it like this and then just wasn't comfortable with the look. Like he in his mind wanted it to look more like Bill Sienkiewicz on I think it's Big Numbers, or oh man, what was that one series that he did that was so kick-ass? I'll try to remember it during the thing. It's not a superhero comic. It was something else. Oh god, what is it called? I have them here too. Oh, this is nice. Hold on, we'll work into it. This looks good. I mean, again, I kind of like this better. I kind of like it better. Obviously, there's no backgrounds in this, but let's see what we got here on this one. This is nice. Hello. Just got the angel wing splatter going on. And then this page that we've been seeing pop up here and there. Yeah, see, there's no photo backgrounds on any of this stuff. And then at some point, this is great, man. Yeah, he must have just gone like, nope, this is not, God, that is awesome. Look at that. I don't know if this could just be pixelization in the scan, but that's interesting. There's like definitely like bitmapping going on, but is it everywhere? Yeah, it could just be the scan. It's hard. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, it's just the scan. It's got like some, what do they call it? Like oh, it doesn't even matter. Man, that is awesome. Oh, man, that's so cool. It's interesting because he's got light coming from this side of the face because the nose here is shadowed. Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's unusual sometimes in comics to have light coming from this direction going this way. Like if you look at Brian Boland pieces, for instance, he generally has the light coming from up here going down, and the shadows kind of move this way. And I think it's because at least in America we read from left to right, so the shadows tend to pull you this way. But he kind of did it with the hair. And what do we talk about? Remember, Bill Sienkiewicz sends you down, but a lot of comic artists send you up. But it's interesting that Jay's shape sends you down on his page. We'll look out for that on the next group of pages and see if he does it, because yeah, that is funny, but it's like this is pulling down more than sending you up. I mean, you could argue that this sends you up, but to me this is the final shape that you read in the word balloon. And yeah, like for me, if I was going to draw this, I would probably shove something in here that moves you back up. But yeah, we'll see if he's incorporated that Bill Sienkiewicz-ism. All right, so let's grab this second issue. And let's grab them all and open it. All right. Okay. So here's the cover. I don't honestly even remember this cover. I know for a fact that I have this comic book, but yeah, this doesn't even ring a bell at all. It's clearly a photo. So he was really into like this was a look for him. Okay, let's see here. All right, we don't need that. I'm curious if there's any kind of like apology letter in this, because like I said, I don't know if it was an interview that I saw that Jay talked about it. But, and again, there was a big gap between issues. This looks great. Man, that is so awesome. And this is really, really cool, too. This looks great. This is all really, really cool. Man, cool hands, too. See, and what's nice is, like, this is really nice. Like, this is very, very cool, stylish hands. And this is good. I mean, you know, it looks weird, but it looks cool. And then this is really, really simple, and it's not really drawn that great. But it does the job. Like, he didn't get stuck on anything here. Although this, again, easier said than done. You see it and you go, yeah. This could have been a hard page for him. It could have been an easy page. You just never know. This is cool. So, again, we've got the photo stuff coming in here. This is nice. Reflection. Really cool shot. This is cool. Okay. Hang up on that too long. So I'm going to try to get through this whole mini-series if possible. This is cool. Kevin Nolan lighting a little bit with the like sort of like lighting from both sides, so you get this like core shadow. It's a cool effect, and you know, you can see the shadow face comes a little bit under down here. It's tough to do pretty girls with this little of detail, but he does a nice job. Like this face still, I mean, she looks scared, but it's still an attractive face done quite small. And here we've got a little bit of zipatone. It looks to be, and it looks great. It's a neat little moment in the storytelling. Yeah, this doesn't work out too bad. I had always avoided Photoshop because it opens all the files backwards, but pulling it from here is it's not so bad. I like that we can zoom. You know, I said that before, but that's huge to me because, you know, I know not everyone has a gigantic computer monitor screen like I do, so it's like, you know what I mean. Again, photo stats. I'd be really, really curious of how he did this. This could just be pasted down, and then he might splatter over it. It's, you know, it's hard to say. Oh, that's cool. The badge looks like a paste up too. It's funny. Oh, classic. The colors here don't really seem to help this page much, though. I don't know. It could be the scan, though. I'd have to see it in the book. It's very, like, yeah, I don't know. This doesn't... I'm not really getting any kind of storytelling, like, vibe off this. And then this ends up being a little too sort of... I don't know, like not primary colors, but it has that feel where it's like you've got this and then this and then this. It's a little disjointed for color wise for me. Bam. This is the same. I mean, it's like, again, I always talk about, like, I'll look for, like, artifacts, but, I mean, you can catch it right here. So look at that shape right there, and then there's a dot in that one, like, single pixel. The single pixel fell out, but you can see that right there. But, yeah, I mean, it's like, this is just the same thing pasted on both sides. This is cool. I like this a lot. This is a very, very nice look. It reminds me a little bit of Travel Foreman, if you know his stuff. Wow, that's really interesting. It's very different, but kind of cool. Oh, this is really wild. Yeah, that is interesting. It's kind of, it's a little disconcerting. Like, it's like, that's like trippy, creepy. It's got a creepy vibe to it. All right. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this is nice. The colors on this issue aren't as I think compelling as the first book. This is okay. I like that. That's nice. When in doubt, black it out. Oh, we need to go through the Simon Bisley Slane stuff. Oh my god, those are so good. And I want to I want to do contemporary stuff. I was actually going to mention that. If you have recommendations for stuff that's coming out right, well, I don't like to do reviews of stuff that are coming out right now, but we could do storytelling. You know what I mean? I don't think it's fair as a professional to critique other people's work that's like brand new. It's just kind of tacky. But we could go through and sort of break down and sort of celebrate what they do, if that makes sense. Actually, the House of X stuff is really, really cool. I've shot a few videos of it. I haven't uploaded them yet because it just felt a little fresh. And yeah, that artist is really good. So I do hold back videos if I don't think the timing is right on them. But art, you know, oh, it's funny. Room 237. And again, very, very cool lighting here. That's cool too. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, this is nice. I'd be tempted to try to suggest a little tiny bit of like maybe the upper or lower eyelid, just like right here, maybe right here, but it might not work. It might have looked too busy. And again, kind of going back to what I just sort of jokingly said, it's like when in doubt, just black it out. It probably will look better. This is such a great piece. I actually had a poster of this at one point. Like a not a huge poster, but it didn't have this exact color palette though. It was like maybe an earlier version of it, but this is really, really cool. It's such a nice combination of cartoony with like some realism thrown in, but so stylish. But man, that is great. And the colors, I like the colors on this, even though they're very like wild. This is a great face right here. This is cool. This actually looks good. Like it's a little, like the forced perspective is a little weird. Now you could kind of mellow it a little bit in Photoshop, but and there was probably like an early version of Photoshop, like Photoshop 3 or something. It's funny. Oh, Big Number. Wait, no, Big Numbers. And god damn, what was that other freaking Bill Sienkiewicz book called? It's driving me nuts. I can picture there's like a woman with a hat on one of the covers. Someone will know in the comments section below what series I'm talking about. It's like 6 issues or maybe like 8 issues. They're like little, almost like graphic novels. Maybe it's only 4. This is cool. Nothing too spectacular. Again, the colors. I don't understand this with this. It's just a little too. This is cool. Very designy. This is nice actually too. She's like attractive. All right, what do we got? And again, look, we've got 22 pages of interiors, although there was the one sort of splash page thing. This is cool. This is nice. It's a photo, but man, that is really cool looking. It's like the underneath of a sink. But yeah, that's intense. Oh, comics are so fun. And that's the thing, too. There's so many great comic books that have been done throughout the years that it's like, man, we have an unlimited source, honestly, of just kick-ass stuff that we can go through and check out. So again, always recommend stuff in the comments section. I'm telling you, it's incredibly important because people will just say stuff and I'm just like, yep, that's what we need to do. And then we just do it. It just gets moved right up the, you know, the level of importance, and I'll pull the trigger on them right away sometimes, you know, if it feels right. I remember this cover. I definitely have this book. Okay. What we got here It's a little hard to read what this is right here. Oh, it's just the wings ripped off. This is cool. Very classic Jay Lee hands. He almost does like Frankenstein fingers. I mean, they actually look like Frankenstein's head. But you'll see these fingers in the strike file stuff for sure. This is cool. Love this. Cool glass too. It's like, it's broken, but it's got such a J. Like, you could probably show me this right here, and I could guess that it's him. It's pretty cool. It's like very Image. Yeah, his wings have been ripped off, so that's what it was on the cover. I like that panel. It's nice. Looks similar to the other issue, but I think it's probably just a coincidence. This is nice. I like that a lot. Very sort of surreal and suggestive. If you do too much of this in like mainstream comics, you'll start to like, people will like be like, oh, this is weird. It's funny how some people are so conservative with what they'll like sort of accept. But I think Jay has enough of this going on that, oh, you're seeing those kind of fingers again. It's cool. Like, he has a very, again, you could show me this hand and say who drew this hand, I would know 100%. This is great. Oh, it's really cool. It's such a cool gesture. This is nice too. Oh man, this is a nice page. This is really cool. What a great shot. Yeah, that's really neat. His kids are interesting. It's funny, he ended up drawing a lot of children in different books that he did. It's funny because even his Batman, Superman Batman, has like kids. Someone always gets hurt. His kids are always mixing it up with like the wrong crowd, and it's like someone's gonna get killed. His character is cool. I like this, the blacked out thing. Nice way to get through it. Not spend too much time on something that really doesn't matter. This is cool. This is nice too. Yeah, it's so neat. You can see like he blacked out the inside of the mouth, didn't choose to show like any of the tongue or like spit. Oh wow, I didn't even see her there. That's crazy. That's cool. This is nice. That's really cool. Kind of soaking it in. Just sort of put it in my memory banks. This is great right here. This looks good. Trace it with your mind, you know. You might not think that it stayed with you, but you'd be surprised what you can pull up when you're kind of forced to draw something without any reference. You'll all of a sudden remember little things, and they add up. You know, you start to stack onto like what you know. This is a great hand. That's cool. It's funny too, because if you actually look at the line work on it, it's actually open in quite a few spots. The gesture is so strong, but there's a lot of broken lines in there. Like, that's all open. So the colors did a great job actually filling it in, but the gesture is what sells it, you know. It's cool. Looks like Larry King. Let's see. Yeah, these are cool. Like, it's interesting. Like, yeah, they're nice shots. This is cool. This is really nice, actually. Again, great gesture. Just solid, you know, no nonsense. This is really nice. This is cool. Looks a little Travisy. Oh, man, that guy's intense. This reminds me a little bit of Nick Manabat. I mean, it's just coincidental, but like the Kaizen Gamora or one of the doctors in the Cybernary book. This is cool. This is nice too. This hand is a little bit off. Oh, maybe not. It's the little thing is. Yeah. Okay. We'll hustle a little bit. He would do a pretty interesting Robin mini-series. Put Robin in hell. Damian Wayne or something. That's cool. Very, like, again, very kind of imagey. His proportions are weird. It's like, he's very, like, high-waisted. Can tell he's rushing a little bit here, maybe. Yeah, he might have been under the gun. This is still nice though. This is good. Yeah, this looks like someone under a deadline duress. We've all been there. Man, that is awesome. Oh man, that is so good right there. This is really cool. Totally, Travel Foreman definitely has this vibe. If you've seen any of Travel's work, especially when he's firing on all pistols and or cylinders and has a little bit of time. Yeah, that's great anatomy. Man, that's so cool. Yeah, that is really cool. Man, he's getting all the right notes. That's great. Yeah, that's really, really cool. He's ending on a high note. That's important. If you can if you can end a book with some really good drawings, like if you end up having to rush, sometimes it's nice if the pages are spread out. Like, you know, page 8 isn't, you know, like so detailed, and page 11 and 15, but then you end with like 5 really good pages. It's like it leaves them wanting more. So all right, let's do the last issue. And this was fun. This will probably be a pretty long video, but you know, whatever. Oh yeah, this is. It's funny when I look through my comics, I always find this issue more often than the other ones. Wow, and this one is really detailed. This is interesting, man. He really upped his game on this. I can already tell just by. So this is number 4. This is so much more detailed than anything that we've seen this far. I don't know the timeline. You could check dates if you. So this is November, but it would be what I don't want to go back and try to figure out right now. Nice cover, really, really good. Okay. Never seen that cover, and it's Bill Sienkiewicz too. Very cool. This almost looks like a woman. I wonder if it's the female character. That's kind of weird. It just looks like they've got like black gloves and some sort of dress top on. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. All right, what is this inside cover? Okay, are we already? Oh, because they're such short JPEG names. Man, look at this. This is crazy, dude. He upped his game so hard on this. Wow. Damn. Wait a second. Let me do something really quick. Open, reset. Hold on, I'm going to go in here. I want to see one thing really quick. Art, Jay Lee, story. Okay, interesting. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't like Jay did the breakdowns and maybe Sienkiewicz did finish or something. This is really significantly more detailed than the other stuff. Wow. I mean, you can really, really notice the difference. He spent some time on these pages. He probably was bumming on issue 3 and was like, all right, I need to, like, bring it. This is a good way to end the series. Again, you could always check the dates of between issues 2, 3, and 4 and see how much time went by. You're super curious about it. Oh man, God, that is great, dude. Oh, man. And he did some other interesting stuff. I don't know why, but this reminded me of like Transformers. G.I. Joe was very sort of felt more photo referencey, and there's a couple of other things. Oh, the Marvel Knights and Fantastic Four. He's done a lot of work. Jay's actually a pretty prolific comic book artist, even though he sometimes feels like he falls off the grid quite a bit. Man, stuff is so detailed. This is crazy. It's weird because it almost, I go like, did he do this in ink or is it pencil? Because like, yeah, he was on a mission on this. I'm sure it's inks, but man alive. If you're ever going to buy an original, get it from issue 4. Cause this stuff is sick. Wow, holy shit. Dude. Well, for people who stayed to the end of this video, we're getting a nice reward. God dang. This might be some of the best stuff I've ever seen him do. Wow. Holy shit, that is great. Wow, that is so detailed. What's interesting, too, is there is a second series of HELLSHOCK that we can check out at some point that came out in 97. So this was earlier than 97. I'm still here. I'm just like, I'm sort of soaking it in. I wasn't expecting it to like circle around and become so intense. And the colors work better on this. So it's not that I'm opposed to this sort of like fuchsia-y red pink that he uses, but these colors all work better with it. Like there's a chromal range to this stuff that is more comfortable. You know, the hue and the saturation, like even this, there's a little bit more of a balance, even though these are pretty wild colors. But you know, sometimes you got to try stuff if you're gonna be a sort of. I guess. Oh man, it's creepy. Wow, that's cool. Oh, his head is upside down. I was like, is that like a knight or something? Like, what is going on? I thought this was like a helmet and like maybe like armor or I don't even know what I was seeing. Oh, is the page upside down? Let's do this. So I wasn't looking at the word balloons. Oh man, this is great. Wow, look at that. Dude, that is so scary. Or cool, I don't know. I'm not really scared. Wow, dude, that is so cool. This is a nice gesture too. Really, really like great motion. See, he doesn't need the photo reference. That's what I'm saying. Look, this guy's like, this is better. He worked it out. Yeah, I don't need to. Really, really cool inking. That's hard to do, man. That Lucy kind of just like, it's, man, really, really nice. That's great. So solid. Oh, man. I'm looking at it sideways. I'm like turning my head sideways, but this is a great shot. Here, we can do this. I think, did I do it right? No. There we go. I do actually use shortcut keys, but I had just reinstalled Photoshop, so I don't have my shortcuts set up yet on this. That's really cool. Yeah, this is such a great issue. Man, that's awesome, too. Very dark tower. God, man, I want to look at Jay Lee all day now. Yep, this is really cool. I love that his eyebrows. So cool. Man, what a great 4th issue. This is so awesome. A little bit of photo there, but, you know, it's like, it works. It's funny. I don't think I've spotted too much other. That, man, what an issue. Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead. It's cool. It has a little bit of a Frank Miller vibe. Wow. Really cool anatomy right here. That's really nice too. Wow. You rock, Jay. I've met him briefly one time. It's very nice. I gave him a bunch of black drawing prints. Told him that he was my evil dark art like luminary. It's like, you give me hope to draw scary comics. It's like, there's only so many spooky stories, you know, that companies produce. It's like, you can't draw super creepy stuff and then be like, oh yeah, do you want to do this comic? They're more geared towards you. It's like, who draws scary? Then they get the short list, the bat phone. That's cool. This is probably stretched in like on a photocopier, because this would be a little bit before people were using a lot of Photoshop. So odds are, who knows though? Villarubia, if he's coloring in Photoshop, he may have done it. This is nice. Yeah, it's interesting to start seeing some of his later approaches popping up in this, because this could be something from Dark Tower too, you know. All right, that was amazing. That was really, really fun. It, like, 3 was a little light, and then man, he just brought it with issue 4. Look at that. That is so great. So all right, have a great day, and if you have any recommendations for books that you would like to look through together, let me know. All right, talk to you later. Bye.